I don't know. I'm just pulling it out of you know what. I'm saying Burton. I have no
So
idea.
if it was you?
Oh, far out. I'd have to give it... If it was me, I'd probably go Luai. Yeah.
So you just said Matt Burton?
No, I think they'll go Burton.
Right,
but if it was
okay.
me personally, I would go Luai.
Hello and welcome to Immortal Behaviour for another week. Thanks to our mates at Tab ahead of round 15 and Origin Game 2. Andrew Johns, how are you going?
Big news, New South Wales.
Big news. It's just dropped. So we're recording this at 1 p.m. on Thursday, and in the last 10 minutes or so, Mitch Moses, sad face, Mitch Moses has got a calf strain, so he's out for Game 2 heading over to Perth.
Well, Matt Burton's 18.
He is.
Big decision whether it is Matt Burton or Jerome. Jerome Luai comes in. Obviously, the obvious one would be Jerome because him and Nathan get the marriage back together, and he's done such a great job. Last year was incredible with Nathan out. But then part of me is like, do we need a bigger body with Matt Burton? He can nail those torpies, and his club form's been excellent. Jerome's form's been good.
You've got a feel for Mitch, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I think they'll go Burton.
Do you? The big body.
Bigger body.
But then also we've seen before, previously, the Luai-Cleary combination, Matt Burton on the bench. I mean, everyone wants to see him get his start because he's earned it, right? But he has been such a loyal 18th man for New South Wales.
Big decision.
Is this the time?
I don't know. I'm just pulling it out of you know what. I'm saying Burton. I have no
so
idea.
if it was you?
Ah, far out. I'd have to give it... If it was me, I'd probably go Luai. Yeah.
So you just said Matt Burton?
No, I think they'll go Burton.
Right,
but if it was
okay.
me personally, I would go Luai because he's done it before. He's got the combination with Nathan. But as usual, I have no idea. I think they'll go Burton. But I'd go Luai.
Watch this
Make
space.
of that as what you will.
All right, let's talk Queensland, shall we? DCE, we can put that to bed. You sort of spoke about Father Time, you thought it had caught up. Let's talk about his replacement in Dearden. What does he bring?
He's a run threat, real run threat, which at Origin level I think you got to in the halves. Incredible competitor. I think he's a stronger defender than Daly, but we don't know. He doesn't know. He's going to know. 10 minutes in, it's going to hit him like a sledgehammer. But I think the main difference is a run threat. Kicking game's going to be interesting. I think Munster will do most of that.
Well, Munster did most of it last game 1, didn't he?
Well, there's another forward with Kalen there. He does a lot at Newcastle. Tommy's attacking kicks, I'm just trying to think. Does he do much at the Cowboys? I think Jake Clifford did a lot when he was there. I think the extra responsibility with Purdue going there the last month, he's been excellent. I just think it's his time. He's 24. He's played 4 or 5 games. You know, Daly's 36. I think it's his time.
Well, you think he's the future too, in the
Without
halves,
a doubt.
right?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Him and Sammy Walker will be around there together. I think him and Sammy Walker will be good together, actually. Yeah, but he's going to be in the halves for the next 15 games or so.
So what about the kicking game? If you think Cameron Munster's going to maybe take ownership over a lot of that, do you think that's an area that New South Wales can down in on?
Yeah,
on
I think
Dearden?
so. But the best thing for them, they got the right foot, left foot, which will take pressure. Harry doesn't do too much kicking. He did one in game 1. It was a stinker. But I think Munster will take on more responsibility, especially with the kicking game.
Do you think that Dearden's played enough Origin footy to start? Because starting is huge. Obviously, game 1 we saw his impact and he's played some Origin now, but it's
Coming
completely
in.
different with the 7 on your back and starting, right?
He came on in game 1 after 60 minutes. I don't know and he doesn't know. He doesn't know Tommy, and I'm sure when he puts his head on the pillow, there'll be doubts, which is normal for a young halfback. But starting with the number 7 on your back comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of talk about Daly being dropped. And yeah, there'll be pressure for sure, and he won't know. After 10 or 15 minutes, we'll get a close-up of his face and see how he's going. But I think he's ready.
Sucking
He's
in
tough.
the big ones.
Yeah, it's also the responsibility of pushing players around and organising and being that big voice. I don't know Tommy. I've actually never spoke to Tommy Dearden, but he seems a pretty quiet sort of young fella, tough as they come. But I don't know whether he's that scream at all the players around him. But we're going to find out.
I tell you what, you can tell when he's playing is he's the ultimate competitor.
Just
like
competes.
He's going at people
Yep.
100% of the time.
Yep.
Like that's got to help Queensland.
Runs
surely.
the ball. What stands out? Remember that chase on Selwyn Cobbo where he just
yes.
never gave up, and it was thousands of getting there, but he just kept going and ended up getting him. Yeah, we don't know. It's all going to be a mystery, and I don't think Billy Slater knows. I don't think the team knows. I don't think Tommy knows. But after 15, 20 minutes, we'll know more.
What would the 8th Immortal say to young Tommy Dearden starting at 7 for the first, maybe we've referenced that 10-15 mark.
Yep.
What's his goals for that first patch of the game?
Organise, support, kick, chase, tackle, cut and print, do it again. So as a halfback, you don't want to be involved with the first 15, 20 minutes as in running the ball too much. Your play is the last 15 minutes of the game and the game's on the line. And to do that, you need to take some shortcuts and hide and preserve that energy. So come 60 minutes, when everyone's, you've got some petrol in the tank. So, yeah, Tommy, don't fire all your bullets early. Just stay out of the play. Organise, support, kick, tackle.
It'll go quick too, won't it?
I wish him well. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It's exciting for Queensland because we know that we'll talk about their attack. It stinks.
Well, it's suffering, isn't it? The last 7 Origin games, their average points are 19, which is pretty wild.
And there's a stat, a lot of those points have been scored when we've been down to 12 men.
Correct.
I think they've only scored 2 tries in 8 games or something when it's been 13 on the field. And it stands out the last 2 games, they haven't scored a try, and they scored a try, Isaiya Katoa off an error, inside our own 10. And really, New South Wales didn't look stressed at all defensively, not at all. This team is pretty special, New South Wales.
New South Wales.
It's a really good team.
But what about for Queensland? The points is obviously a big one. The middle of the field's huge. But in terms of points, how do they rectify that?
Well, they have got the players. They've got Harry Green at a dummy half. They've got Munster and Kalen. They've got to get Kalen into the game. Kalen's down on confidence. But it all comes down to the forwards. If the forwards can do their job, which I'm really surprised there's been some changes. Kate Will coming in, Liero coming in. It's what we've been guilty of in the past when New South Wales has lost. But the shoe's on the other foot and they're under pressure. So they've had to make some changes. But it all comes down to their forwards. But I said it's special. This forward pack is just...
New South Wales.
New South Wales fullback. And the area where it's a big advantage, New South Wales' bench is far, far superior. There is absolute intimidation and impact off the bench. Will they keep the Spencer? That's the big one.
Surely.
But it comes down to their forwards. If their forwards can contain New South Wales, then Munster and Kalen are the key. If they can't control New South Wales, they could have Wally Lewis, 3 Wally Lewises in their team, and well, maybe not. Wally'd get them out. Yeah,
Well,
it comes down to the forwards.
What surprised you? You said Queensland surprised you. What part of Queensland?
Trent Liero surprised me coming in. I think Kurt Mann should have been there in game 1 in jersey 14. Kurt Capewell coming in. Ruben Cotter on an edge. I think Ruben Cotter's a better play in the middle. And Carrigan going back to the bench. There's just some surprises. And once again, this is what pressure does. Pressure.
But also the start of the game. It was in the first 10 minutes or so. What was it? 3 penalties that Queensland gave away.
Cheap
7
penalties.
tackle set. They dropped the footy really early
First
on.
set of 6.
So if they get that first 10-minute period right,
gotta
do you
build it
think
now.
it changes?
Yeah, I think so. But the first set, you could see it. Mitch Barnett went, Zach Lomax ran over the top of him, and then Payne went 20 metres. And I think the first set, we rolled up the field 60 metres. That's unheard of. You're lucky to get outside your 20, 30. It just goes to show our team is so well balanced. Our outside backs, it's a special team, really special team.
Let's stick with Queensland for a little bit longer. Cameron Munster. He is the new Queensland captain. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Do you think it raises his game to another level?
Yeah. Yeah. And he carries on like a lunatic, and we know he's a larrikin.
We love him.
And he plays up to it, and he's such a good fella. He's such a good bloke. But this will give him some steel, this leading into this game. And he plays in that famous Queensland number 6. You know, they talk about the Argentinian number 10, Maradona and Messi and those players. Well, our famous jersey is the Queensland number 6, the King, Lockyer, Thurston, and probably missing players, Kevin Walters, Munsters.
He's fit at the moment too, isn't he?
Fit.
Kev Munster.
Yeah.
What does it do for his head mentally? I know we don't want to go there too much. I don't mean on the weekend. I mean on the footy field.
Well, you're talking to a bloke who would know.
Yeah. But at training, when he takes the field over in Perth at Optus Stadium,
so once again,
what changes?
I haven't seen Munster in and around training. What he's like, but I imagine he's one of the blokes when he flicks the switch, he's got the head on. He'll have the head on this week, captaining the team, and he understands the responsibility, especially wearing that number 6 jersey. You'll see a different Cameron Munster.
All right, the man who lost captaincy, Cherry Evans. Do you think, let's go back to Clubland, do you think he has a little bit of regret, given that he did speak out, round 3 it was, of his future and moving forward, just given the way that it sort of played out? He hasn't been playing his best footy.
Well, looking back, it was just an absolute joke the way it happened. He was on 100% footy, and then he announces it there, and then
it was bizarre.
They put a counter offer in while it was on TV. It was just bizarre. It was absolutely weird. Well, now Origin's out of the way. I think he's got to come out and say where he's going.
Well, the Roosters were in the race.
I know they had great success when they got Cooper Cronk there, but it was a different team. It was stacked with stars. This team is a young team on the way up. They have Sammy Walker playing first grade this week, second game back from an ACL. You've got Hugo Savala, who's playing 5'8", who I think is a great foil for Sammy Walker. You've got Sandon Smith, who has been incredible. And then down below, you've got a young guy called Toby Rodwell, who is exceptional.
Brett Rodwell's son.
Brett Rodwell's son. He'll be playing in the under-19s New South Wales Thursday night. So watch that. He's close to first grade. So you've got 4 of these young guys. Do you think Hugo, Sandon Smith and Toby are going to want to sit behind for 2 years while Daly's there? I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to work.
It's bizarre,
I
isn't
really
it?
don't know how it's going to work. Anyway, he might end up at the Dolphins. But he's got a young family, moving kids.
It's a lot to move your kids, isn't it? But then it's only a couple of years.
Katoa plays on the left. He'd play 5'8". I don't know. But I think it should be announced soon.
Katoa plays on the left, Nathan Cleary plays on the right. Too soon? I've skipped forward to Origin.
Oh.
Do you want me to take a step back?
Now you got me excited.
Pump the brakes.
Cody's still number 1 for me, but Cody's been out. He's getting close. Wow, I didn't think of Isaiya Katoa.
No Mitch Moses?
Not this year. No Moses. It'll be Luai or Burton.
How far off do you think Isaiya Katoa is being in that squad?
I'd have him in now.
Would you?
Just to experience it. Look, he's ready to go now. He would play.
So why wait?
Well, Nathan's there. It's Nathan's time.
For the left.
No, I think you need a foil, and I think Burton and Luai are those good players. At 5'8", outside Nathan, and also left foot kick. But he's going to play 30 Origins, Katoa. He's just got to wait his turn. Like all the halves, it just by the time Nathan and Mitch, then we're going to the next crop of Katoa and Galvin and Luke Metcalf, and probably missing a couple, but off the top of my head. But Nathan's probably 4 or 5 years left there, maybe a little bit more. Moses is probably 3 or 4. Moses is 30 now, 2 or 3. New South Wales in a really good position. Really, really good position. And you look at those young guys down at Canberra. Sorry, Ethan Strange. He's another one.
Yeah.
He's another one. I forgot. Those young guys, Kyle Weeks, and geez, we got some good young players coming through. This is
How good's footy?
This is good.
This
is really good. I'm excited. Big Kev. Don't go off too early. Andrew.
All right, let's stick to Clubland. Lachlan Galvin, you just mentioned his name there when we were chatting about the halves. We got to see him run out for the Bulldogs for the first time. Big crowd, big moment. He came on and played some minutes. What did you make of him?
He was really good. Really fitted in well. The try he scored, he pushed up and knew he'd put himself into that space. This is a serious club on the way up. Once again, the recruitment, Gus, Serraldo, Stephen Crichton, all these players. It's heading that way, this team.
Were you surprised with how early they brought Lachlan Galvin in?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought they'd sit him down for 2 or 3 weeks in New South Wales Cup. But they bought him, so they may as well play him.
I mean, it's always easy to speak about when it works too, right?
Yeah.
It was perfect case scenario.
Well, people are going to say, we'll talk about Reid Marnie. He's got his...
Yeah.
This is professional footy. This is what happens. I think Parramatta were upset when Reid went to the Bulldogs. It's just the way the game is.
Well, Reid got moved to the bench. Obviously, Sexton played dummy half. Do you think that's the way it sort of looks? It is different when we're speaking Origin because Matty Burton's out. They've lost a few players.
No, I think their starting spine, Connor Tracy, I think Galvin at 7, I think Burton at 6, and I think Reid Marnie will start at 9.
So Sexton to
14, yeah, or Bailey Hayward. It's competition. Competition's good. Maybe Bailey Hayward, they might see him as a long-term 9.
Sexton seems to be taking it like in his character really well too. Like
for
Reid
sure.
Marnie, to be fair, like we love his personality and his character, but he looked filthy in the sheds.
And so he should be.
Yeah.
You want him to be filthy. You don't want him smiling and high-fiving. It's good. Shows he cares. But I think Reid will be their number 9 moving forward.
So what, does that spark a bit more grunt at training during the week for Reid?
100%.
Or is that what you want?
100%.
Yep.
So you got 6 players, Connor Tracy, Galvin, Burton, Reid Marnie, Hayward and Sexton, trying to play in that spine. So really you got 6 players. Connor Tracy's safe. You got Galvin, Burton in the half, Sexton, Reid Marnie, Hayward fighting out for those 3 positions. It's good.
The media will try and pick this apart and say they're fighting with each other, it's not working at the Bulldogs, but do you reckon the Bulldogs, Cameron Serraldo, and
I hope they are fighting at training.
Do you think they're just rubbing their mitts together saying this is going to help our club?
I hope
like
they
you
do.
sit back and watch.
I hope there's argy-bargy at training when they're playing opposed and they're into each other. That's what you need. I'm sure there will be.
Whose responsibility is it on game day to pull their heads in, and now that you've got the jersey, put that aside?
All of them. You've got to put that aside. And it's Cameron Serraldo, he'll manage it. It's part of the man management of things. I think it's exciting. Competition, they'll be into it for sure.
All right, you killed it last week. It's time for our tab big call of the week.
So last week I said the 3 teams at the top would make a statement. They all won over 20, so...
Tune in.
Hope you listened to Uncle Joey. So my big call this week, I think the Dolphins will win 1-12, up at the Cowboys up at Townsville, and I think the Dogs on Sunday can win 1-12. Few Origin players misses for the Dogs, and they're coming off that big win. I think emotionally they might be a bit flat. Dolphins 1-12, Dogs 1-12.
How good are the Dolphins? Your man, Isaiya Katoa? You think they will?
I had a look at their draw. They've got a reasonable draw going in. I think they'll make the top 8.
Even with, like, obviously the ladder's fascinating with how close it is.
They've had some season-ending injuries, but Daniel Safidi's gone for the year. Tom Gilbert and also Max Plath gone for the year. So unfortunate for those. But I've got to give a huge rap to Christian Wolf, the coach. And he's under the radar, isn't he? We're not talking about him. Well, they lost their first 4. He held his nerve. And under pressure like that, especially following Bradman into bat, taking over from Wayne Bennett, I'd say the pressure would have got to him, but he didn't show that. Because when they do, it can affect the players. He held his nerve. So well done, Christian. Well done. Great leadership, great coaching.
A lot of that conversation out of the Dolphins has been that belief. Like you mentioned, the 0-4 to kick off the season, just to keep level-headed and stay composed. One of the players on the field that has a really big impact over orchestrating that, your man, Isaiya Katoa. How do you take his, or how do you assess how he's playing at the moment? Like, I know you love the style of footy, but like the maturity of such a young kid as well.
It's unbelievable. If you look at Ricky Stewart, Alan Langer, myself, Jonathan Thurston, Nathan Cleary at 21, we weren't doing anything like he's doing. So hopefully he stays injury-free. Look, he's already played maybe 50 games. He's played plenty of games. He has no weaknesses in his game.
0.
Defensively, whacks. He's a big body. Defensively, he puts some shots on. There's no weaknesses. One thing, I'd love to see him run the ball at the right occasions. You can't just say run the ball. Just run the ball at the right situations. He's been running the ball a lot this year. He's special.
You could seriously sit back and watch him all day. Is that
I
good,
love
hey?
watching him play. As I said, Cody's my favourite. When Cody plays, I'm just sitting there watching Cody Walker. But yeah, you know, this bloke is very, very special.
When you, just quickly, we've got some breaking news, do we? Mitch Moses out of Origin. Luai in.
Yeah, so I'd go with Luai.
Can we go back 20 minutes or so?
I said
Well,
I'd go with,
it makes
I
sense though.
said
You
I'd
would.
go Luai, but I thought Burton. Anyway,
Anyway.
once again, I'm wrong.
I just want to ask you quickly on Isaiya Katoa. You said that a lot of the greats weren't at that point when they were that age. What is he doing that you guys weren't at that age? Like, what are the little things?
Totally control the game. He's controlling the speed of the game. His kicking game, he kicked that 40-20. His presence on the field, his ball playing. The biggest rap I can give Izzy, the way he plays his block plays, Nathan's copied him. If you watch Nathan throughout his career, the way he plays his block plays, now the way he plays, especially on the left side, it's nearly identical to Isaiya Katoa, which is a rap when you've got an absolute out-and-out immortal and waiting in Nathan Cleary, and he's copying a 21-year-old halfback.
That's cool, huh? Well, we've heard Nathan Cleary come out and give him a rap.
Yeah.
And say, I like watching him play. He's a good halfback.
On him a while back, award-winning column.
Another
and
one?
I actually text Nathan. I said, mate, can you give me a quote? And he was glowing of his praise, talking about playing. No one plays straighter, and the way he plays and his tempo. And
it's cool.
Very cool. And once again, he's New South Welshman.
How good's that?
And he needs to play for Tonga his whole career. Can we sort this eligibility out?
Yeah, we need to, don't we?
I want him playing for Tonga. I want him playing for New South Wales, because Tonga will be competing year in, year out with Samoa, Australia, New Zealand and England. It'd be great for the international game.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? All right, well, that might do us for round 15. We're heading to the Bermuda Triangle tonight.
It's cold.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be very cold. I've got my gloves.
Thank God I'm not on the sideline.
Who'd you pick, Sharkies or Dragons?
I'm on Sharkies, but no confidence. Sharkies the last 2 weeks, they got pumped by the Roosters, and the Warriors put 40 on them at home.
At home too.
So it's a big night for the Sharks. They need to hit back.
They need to stay in that top 8, don't they? All right, well, that big news coming out is Mitch Moses out, Jerome Luai in.
Not Burton.
Over in Perth, Burton remains 18th man. Looking forward to State of Origin Game 2 over in Perth. But thank you for joining us for Immortal Behaviour for another week, and we'll catch you again next week.